that, from there, we're going to set the stage for the rest of the training based off of her having her surgery and then coming out of her surgery. How are we doing with the surveys? All right. As we are finishing the surveys up, the volunteer, thank you for collecting those for me. And then all we're going to do is put those to the side. Don't rush. You're okay. Yeah, don't rush. The surveys, we do these for any other church as we're going to. It is a process we do right at the beginning. Before we start to do any training, we want to capture the knowledge of the individuals first. So these will allow us to capture the knowledge and behaviors before we do the training, okay? Everything that you are learning today, you will learn for knowledge for yourself, but also it's going to call train the trainer. As the G.I.F.T. Church is leading this effort, any conversations that we have for training the other churches that are looking to do the same thing, this is the exact same process that we'll do. So what you'll learn is what will be repeated as we continue to build this model. We're doing this work also in partnership with the Altar program with Dr. Faye Epps. Very excited to say that the G.I.F.T. Church is one of the first churches to be an altar location. This location is a part of, again, being the beacon, being the example. As you are doing these different things to be dementia capable, dementia friendly, you also are going to be a location for resources, services, and supports. Also in your packet, you'll be able to see a little bit more about Melanin Minded, the services that we provide. These services are embedded in the church as well, which includes the discussion we're going to be about the Navigator Transportation, the Bridge Youth Program, the coaching, also the men's health component as well. You also have in your packet where we'll talk about the Dementia Village project, what that looks like, and you are part of the beginning pieces of the training, but then we'll have the discussion of individuals who are interested in the second portion is the Navigator Transportation piece. You all will receive certifications after the trainings as well. Also, as you're going through the process, take care of yourself. If you need to get up and stretch and move yourself around, this is not that it's a lecture form. You're able to move around to get yourself acclimated because we're going to be talking about the brain. All right. As everyone is finishing out, I really want you to have your mindset as we talk about this disease. I want to first ask and barometer. Someone tell me, is there a difference or who's heard of dementia and Alzheimer's? And in so, can you tell me is there a difference between the two? And if not, just give me an explanation of what dementia is and isn't. Now, the ones that have gone through this training that are pretty well versed, don't raise your hand. I want individuals, this is the first time you've heard, and tell me your thoughts. We're interactive. Dementia and Alzheimer's, is it the same? Is it different? Give me your understanding.
I believe dementia is the early part, okay, and it can turn into Alzheimer's. Okay. I believe the worse it gets,
Okay.
becomes Alzheimer's.
All right, I want you to all hear. Next person, come on. I need to, let's talk it out.
Well, really wasn't sure there was a difference.
Okay.
And, so that's one of the reasons I'm here today, so I can figure out the difference of dementia and Alzheimer's. And so, I'm just here to learn, really. So
That's all right.
Yeah.
Next person. And Dr. Rhodes, you want to come up here for a second too? Come on. No, don't be shy. I want to know your clear understanding. That's why we're here. Come on.
My grandmother had it, and it was times where she didn't want to do stuff like eat, even though it was time for her to eat. Dementia is basically a disease of the mind that will have people that you know them, but they don't remember who you are. So you have to be patient with them, and take your time, not yell at them. Take your time. If you get frustrated, walk away. Walk away, come back, reassess the situation.
It's our grandmother. So like, I didn't know there was a difference. I don't know. That's part of the reason why I'm here. Like, I think like all of us. My biggest thing is, I feel like when it comes to the memory loss part of it, a lot of people just always go towards like it's Alzheimer's. So I feel like I hear that a lot more than I hear dementia.
Hello, everyone, and praise the Lord. My name is Shanae Rhodes. I've had the great pleasure of working with Dr. Basher Easter and Dr. Fayron Epps. So I work in the space of dementia, more so focusing on caregivers of loved ones living with dementia. But it's a blessing and a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
She's so modest. We're doing a lot of work together with Alter and the work in Texas. So when her being here and seeing this, she brought a lot of the items we needed in regards for Alter for you all, as well as the other churches that we're building, okay? So we want to look at, and I'm glad, don't be afraid in having this conversation. There are more like you that have no clue. It is 2026, and we should know a lot more, and I'm going to explain to you why it's very important that it's coming out of the church, and why the church has to be the beacon in regards to this. Because we have a medical community that also talks about this disease, but it's really not reaching the demographic that are hit the hardest. And I'm going to explain to you as well how that looks. So dementia and Alzheimer's. Yep, dementia and Alzheimer's. This is my first term of hearing it. Remember I told you that we were discussing my mother going to the doctor. She had her surgery. So I say this in the context that I didn't go to school to learn this. This was not something I wanted to be a part of. But God knew the situation that we were caring for my mother ended up being my training ground. So your life experience becomes your training ground, and now it's become my passion to make sure others don't go through the exact same things that I went through with my mother. That's why this is extremely important. I was born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is where it all began for me. At that time, I was in my 30s. And when she went to the doctor, had the amputation, my mother went through the surgery. After the surgery, she had a smile on her face, but she didn't speak. She didn't say a word. And so we're like, did she do good? Now, mind you, what did I say? She had her own place. She was living on her own. She was having all of these things. You would say she just went to a normal surgery. Why is she not speaking now? So they said it was anesthesia. It was the anesthesia, and it should wear off. We all have those moments, right? You would think, okay, drug get out of your system, you should be okay. We bundled our mom up, took her home. Next day, she still had a smile on her face, but she was not speaking. So now we're concerned. So I call my sisters and say, hey, let's get back to the doctor. We get back to the doctor and say, Doc, what's going on with her? So this was her, at that point, her primary care physician. He takes her back into a room. He comes back to us and says, your mother has dementia. She can no longer live by herself. So same way we feel. Like, what? So we're looking at each other, we're looking at him, and in our ignorance, we said, well, what pill does she need to take to get better? We didn't know what else to ask. We're thinking we're at the doctor. She's not speaking. You give us this term dementia. Okay, what kind of medication do we need for this dementia to get her back? And he's looking at us, and he's like, I just said she can no longer live by herself. She has dementia. And we're just like, well, what does that mean? There was no, now, in context of that day, that was 19 years ago that I'm talking about this conversation. And so we're saying to him, and looking at him, and instead of him saying, well, they don't know what I'm saying, they don't understand, let me give them services, supports, and resources to help their mother now. He says to us, well, someone's going to have to care for her. And if it's not going to be family, you're going to have to put her in a nursing home. These are the words. These are the statements. And so we're looking at him and we're like, nursing home? What do you mean? She just came in here. So we were thinking malpractice. We're already thinking a lawsuit. You did something to our mother during this time. So in that process, we were like, well, I don't know what else to do. So all we did was we bundled our mom up and we got her out of there. Got her out of there and we're crying all the way home. And when we make decisions, we make a decision as a family to try to figure it out. So our sisters, we're in the car. My sister, middle sister, says, well, mama can stay with me. She was newly married and a brand new baby. I'm bringing up all of the context is because family, as we do, are going to figure it out, right? So we made the decision. She says, I'm going to take mom in. What are you going to do? And I was brand new, I felt. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm still trying to figure out my life. I said, but it's mama. We got to figure something out. My older sister was like, okay, well, we're going to have to take turns. But in order to prepare for her, we did have to put her in a nursing home. It was rehab. We were able to give a rehab session for her during that time as we prepared for her to come home. So as we started that, she went to there. Remember, she just had surgery, so she had a boot on her leg, cover any of that. The nursing home kept calling us and saying, hey, y'all need to come get your mama. And we're like, what's going on? Well, she's starting to talk. She's starting to move around. She's starting to do these things. So now I want you to write these part down. We are understanding very clear our eyes and our ears were lying to us every day. Our eyes and ears were lying to us every day with our mother. And remember, he only gave us a dementia diagnosis. Okay? So my mother did start coming out of the fog. She's moving around, and now the nursing home is like she's not nursing home level of care, so they weren't going to admit her into the facility. She's moving. She's able to maneuver. She's able to do these things. So we go get her out of there, and my mother, sure enough, she comes out of there. We get her home. She's talking. We're so happy. We're so excited. And the first thing she's telling us is that she's hungry. So as she's saying she's hungry, we do just that. We started to feed her. She said, we're excited. So remember, we're discussing this as a loved one. So I want you to think of your loved one or family member. And so after eating, right, she starts to eat, and she cleans the plate. After she cleans the plate, you bring that to me. After she cleans the plate, she says what, y'all? What did she say? I'm hungry. And so we're excited. Like, okay, well, Mom, you're hungry. That means that's a good thing, right? What did they say? As you talk about feeding the soul, starve the cold, is it something like that? And so we're thinking like, okay, so sure enough, we give her another plate. Now imagine we're not giving her a small portion. We ate all the big plates. I ate big plates at the age of 5. I was eating grown man plates. So we fixed her the same type of meal. Big piece of meat, vegetables, all that. And she's cleaning. When I say clear it, there's nothing left. That's one plate. We give her another plate. She cleans that plate, and 20 minutes later, what does she say? You ate 2 grown man plates, Mama. And so when she says she's hungry, now we're looking at each other. So as we're looking at each other like, I don't know, you get mine on a plate? This isn't mine. I'm starving. Give me something to eat. And so now we're looking like something is wrong. I see you, brother. Come on up here. Introduce yourself. This is royalty. Come on. Please. Come on. That's all right. Come here. You introduce yourself. When I tell you, when I first got here 3 years ago, this is one of the first people that I met that's in the front line of this disease. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Easter. How y'all doing today? Y'all excuse me, I just walked in. He gonna throw a microphone in my hand. My name is Leon Pope. I am Community Outreach Coordinator for County Commissioner Roderick Miles. And it's good to be here today. I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic out there is absolutely crazy. Real quick, my story. Each and every day I wake up, I'm a caregiver. My mother suffered from Alzheimer's for 7 years. She's gone on to glory now, but still, every day I wake up, in my mind, I'm a caregiver. Everything I do is for caregivers, people that are going through the disease. In our office, we have a Healthy Lives Matter initiative. And Healthy Lives Matter focuses on 2 things, soon to be 3. First one is Alzheimer's education. We host an annual event with the Alzheimer's Association, and we provide education resources to caregivers and healthcare professionals. The second part of that Healthy Lives Matter initiative, prostate cancer awareness and screening. As a matter of fact, on 1 second. Put the mic up. As a matter of fact, on February 28th, we'll be hosting our 12th annual Healthy Lives Matter prostate cancer awareness and screening event. This will take place at Moncrief Cancer Institute, which is located at 400 West Magnolia Avenue here in Fort Worth. This will be our 12th annual event to get men to come in and be aware of their their PSA status. It is a free blood test. It is not that other test where the doctor puts the glove on, men, so don't worry about that. So that is our second part. We're soon to be going into grief and trauma, but that's down the road. But my grandmother raised me, but she suffered from Alzheimer's, and from that, I've learned to not only accept the responsibility of that, but I was able to find the joy in it, if that makes sense to you. You have to seek out the joy in the process. And that led me to become more involved in trying to help our community through Healthy Lives Matter, working with the Alzheimer's Association. For a moment, I served as an ambassador for the Alzheimer's Association, which is working with our members of Congress to help further Alzheimer's legislation and policy in Congress. Had the opportunity to testify before the Health and Human Services Subcommittee in D.C. So I was able to, based on my experience, help others as I move forward. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to share our experiences, share our education, share our resources to the community. So I hope to continue to do that. So thank you for allowing me to have a moment. Thank you.
So as he's sharing this, when I came in here, am I right? We've been talking about this. Now it's happening. It's happening, and it's happening here in Fort Worth first. So when we talk about these supports, you came in, look at that booklet that we have. We start off of the research part of it. So it's the 2 scales, dementia scales. I want you to fill that out, put your name at top, and do that as well. Put your thank you for coming, put your name on top of those. Make sure she gets that and grab those items once they both complete, okay? Yes. So remember, she was telling us she's hungry. So as she was telling us she was hungry, we're looking at her. What do we think we did with the third plate? What did we do with the third plate?
We gave it to her. We didn't want to give it to her, but then 24 hours a day, she kept saying what? When I say 24, I promise you, it's like how and what and why? This doesn't make any sense. So we go back to the medical community. Remember I was told you that that's who we lead to give us information and help and support? But he said to us very clear, it's the same one that told us she had dementia. And in that, we were like, okay, well, now she's saying she's hungry. You know what he said to us? Feed her. And we're looking at him like, you're not hearing what we're saying. We are feeding her, but she keeps saying that she's hungry after we feed her. Instead of him hearing us, what we were saying as caregivers, instead of saying something is going on that's maybe going on with his patient, he said, I'll give her some medication. And the medication I'll give her was Haldol. Anyone know what Haldol is? You know what heroin is? It's a high narcotic that my mother would sit and have drooled down her face, but she wouldn't say she was hungry. We did not know, and it still hurts me as we talk about it, had no understanding of how to advocate for her. So we took her home, we gave her medicine, and she sat there and would just be zombied out. We decided we'll just figure it out as we can. Get her off that medication, and we just kept giving her small portions of food. Now let's get into the teaching. You understand why it was important, why I continue to do this? Because if someone would have some information and understanding, they wouldn't have gone through it. Do you know we went through a total, before everything, of the true diagnosis, 6 years. Write that down. 6 years. So I asked you all, did you hear about dementia and Alzheimer's? Were they interchangeable? Did we understand that? We did. We heard about Alzheimer's disease. And so we thought that Alzheimer's disease and dementia was exactly the same thing because that's all we knew. And with Alzheimer's disease, what we heard was memory. Memory. What we should have known is what you're going to be taught today and what we're going to be teaching this community. What they should know from the beginning all the way to the end, and then how do they provide these different resources that we're going to bring to the church, these economic stimulus that we're bringing to the church. That's what we're doing. All the people that are coming in, make sure they're getting the same packet and that they're able to fill out the surveys as well. When you fill out the surveys, make sure you fill them complete, hand them to our volunteers, and then we'll go from there. You got your hand up? Thank you. Yes. And that's what could be the case. Yes. And here we go. That's what so this is where we're going to have the learning piece. If someone, I want to make sure anytime someone says this to you as we're training going forward to any other church, as we are building this community, if someone says my loved one has dementia, my loved one passed from dementia, has been diagnosed with dementia, if they say that ever again from this point on, I want you to say what type. I want you to say that. Even if it's a medical professional that brings up this term dementia with someone that either caring for or to ask them, what type of dementia have you diagnosed them with? And a lot of individuals, caregivers, are going to look at you and say, well, that's all I was told was dementia. What we are now advocating for is the types, and this is what we're going to be learning. Why it's important to know the type, not only for the person living with the disease, is for the caregivers to understand the type. My mother kept saying she was hungry. The next thing I want you to also understand and write down, because I'll bring it up again, is all behavior is communication. All behavior is communication. As we said, our eyes and our ears were lying to us because we kept looking at my mother in the lens of her being our mother. not in the lens that the brain has now changed. Write that down. The brain has changed. We're going to look in the lens of how the brain sees the world, not as your husband, not as your wife, not as your sister, your brother. We're no longer going to look at those individuals that way. We're going to look at now how they see the world, how the brain interprets everything around it. We good with that? And we're going to walk through, y'all. I'm excited about it. So now, let's first get the understanding of what is dementia. And Pat, you want to put that up on the screen? I know they moved over here. But we're going to get you some PowerPoints as well that goes along with this. And I'll walk you through, so don't feel like you need to stretch your neck too much to get it. But if you can, we're going to look at your screen. So let's first talk about what dementia is. Dementia is umbrella term for symptoms. So part of those symptoms go along with could be memory, could be speech, it could be gait, right? We think of memory right away, right? It's a memory issue. We hear it all the time.